On today's episode of Do I Even Have Enough Memory to Be Recording a Video Today? It's the day after my first lot day. Yesterday was pretty successful, so I want to do a couple things to it. I ordered a couple parts, and surprisingly they came overnight really quick. Now, I'm actually waiting on one more thing to come in, which I'll get into that a little bit later. For starters, I'm not sure how many hours I have on this engine yet, but I do want to stand it up straight, check the color of the oil, because once again, if you don't already know, this bike doesn't have anything except for a start, a kill. That's it, no electric. So I don't know as far as hours because I don't have an hour meter yet. And I don't know how many miles I've put on it. But anyway, got a couple things in. I ended up going with a PWK 28, so I'm gonna be installing that. I'm probably gonna have to do the same mod that I had to do with the other PWK, which is the cable. I had to shorten the housing length basically. Then I ended up getting a new master cylinder because I need the rear brake to actually come up higher. I need that pedal to come up higher. So I got one with a longer, hopefully it's longer. I think it's longer. Let me actually check. And it's actually the integrated, so I don't have the bottle on this one anymore. Yeah, this should be longer. My bad for the camera angle. Yeah, this would be good. That'll definitely be good. Okay. Got that, and I also ended up getting a rear brake pedal, which is aluminum. So hopefully this is actually going to work out better because I already started to bend this one because I actually did kind of cut it prematurely. I didn't put this bolt in before I started to cut this, so I ended up having it all out and everything, and I'll show you once I get it off the way it's the way it is right now after yesterday, because yesterday was a good day, like I said. And then I also got an air filter, but I'll show that when I actually get it open and get the carb off. It's not gonna take much to take this carb off to swap it. It's just gonna be a matter of honestly that cable itself. So I'm gonna just jump straight in because my main thing is realistically gonna be this side. Might be a bitch trying to get this this off without taking the rear set completely off, because this is the head side, it's not the thread side. I really don't want to have to take the swing arm off. I really don't. So I'm gonna see how I get this done. And after a couple hours and some heavy modification, I got my brake pedal on, which luckily for me it does fold, so if it falls, this is gonna also fold in as well as the peg. But then again, I'm really gonna replace this for a stronger rear set, so I'm not worried about that right now. But I did have to replace this because the original one that I had on here, it was bending. Now with that being said, I also changed the master cylinder to an all-in-one, and it actually gave me more threads to actually adjust the length of the pedal. So I was able to get the pedal in a good position where I wanted it at. Now, only thing I had to actually do was, because of how it was set up, it had two holes that was somewhere up here. I had to actually cut those completely off and grind it down. And honestly, it's worth it if you got the tools to do it. It's a worthwhile pedal to swap to if you're gonna stick to the stock rear set or the stock style rear set and not the more racing style rear set. I think it'll be worth it. So far it does feel tight, and you can actually adjust the length. So right now I got it as far in, it comes in the middle, and then you could push it as far out. But yeah, I pushed it in. So I got that on. I got the master cylinder on. Changed to the PWK 28. And I got on a new air filter. The air filter actually was too wide. It was too wide. So I got it clamped on super tight. Rotated the filter so it stays tucked in. And what else was it? So with the throttle cable, with the PWK, it doesn't work with the quarter turn throttle straight out of the box. So what I ended up doing with this one, instead of what I did with the other one, was I ended up basically just taking the spool out of here. The bronze sleeve that goes in the spool, I put that in the middle where the screw goes. And I have the actual cable on this side of the screw, not on this side. Because when you actually pull the throttle, right, it comes over here anyway. So basically it's riding against the brass sleeve all the way in. So then that way I do still have some type of slack in the throttle. And I have 100% throttle. Whereas before I did have 100%. Actually, no, I didn't have 100%. It was more like 50% because I started out at 50. But I do plan on doing the mod that I had to do to the other one, to this one. But this was just as a, let me see if this will work. And it does work. But I haven't really gone out with it yet. So let me do a day with it and I'll figure out if it really does work. Cool. Ended up bleeding the rear brakes. I'm looking at it like, do I want to bleed the front? But it does look clear enough to where I don't have to worry about it. I'm trying to remember the last time I bled this master cylinder. But there is one more thing that I do want to do. I want to change out this brake lever to one that I actually took off of a different setup. So it's actually closer to being a shorty lever versus being hooked like this. So yeah, let me actually go find that. I'm gonna change that out. And I'm just waiting on a temporary 12 bar. I did get the cheapest one. I do plan on actually getting the MK Stunts set up basically. I gotta look at the price again, but yeah, it's gonna be the rear sets and the 12 bar. But the thing with that is funds right now. I'm just being honest with you. So because I'm on a budget, I got the budget one. Just for now, it should work. If I could lean on it, I'm fine with that. If not, it just is what it is. But with that being said, let me change this brake. And I guess, I don't know. I got to check the weather because it was showing it was supposed to rain today. But then it showed it wasn't. But then it showed it was supposed to thunderstorm in about an hour. So, about a 50% chance. I'm going to check the weather to see how the weather looking. If the weather's looking like it's still going to be decent, I'm going to go out. If not, I'll call it a video. But, I don't know. I'll just see when I see. Actually, there was one more thing. So, I have noticed that something just seems like it's not straight up here. I think it's the bars. So, I'm pointed straight. Tire is pointed straight. You see the angle? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. I think it's the bars, maybe the fucking actual clamps. So I do want to actually get solid mounts for all my bikes. I want to get solid bar mounts for all my bikes anyway. So that's just the thing I'm going to have to do. But I do also want to change out these bars. I don't like these green bars. So I didn't find the brake lever that I was looking for. But I did find one to replace it with. I don't really like it, honestly, just being honest. I'm going to find the one that I was looking for, but I did find a couple other things. So if you look at the brakes, I did find a set of my brake coolers. Well, no, I forgot exactly what. Brake vents, that's what they are, brake vents. So basically, it draws in air and it actually cools the rotor down. Right now, I did have to modify the back one and it doesn't have the plate, which honestly a part of me wants to actually modify the plate so I can still run that in between here and here, or if anything a plate in general. But yeah, I did have to modify it to fit. For starters, the hole didn't go well, the threads didn't go through for the adjuster, so I had to drill that out to a M8, I believe that was. I also had to move the hole over from where it is, so I drilled that one out just to find out that I had to move it over some, because originally in that hole it was touching the rotor, so now it's not touching the rotor. This is actually hugging the inside of the swing arm like it should, and the zip tie is holding as it should, so that's how it's held on. The front one's only held on with this one bolt with the bracket that goes to the bottom brake bolt, and then this is actually in the hole that goes through the bottom. Did that. I also threw on this that on, and then the last thing that I did was I actually cut off the fender mounts and I grinded them down. So the last ones I got to do is actually these. I just got to take off the brake caliper so I can cut that off, and cut this one off as well. Probably gonna go flush, or as flush as possible, or I might just cut it like that basically. I don't know, I'll figure that part out once it comes to it. And I just need to get some black spray paint so I could cover that up. Definitely going with the supermoto setup with this. So like I said, it's just gonna be a matter of getting the front fender and the rear fender. I get that with the 12 bar, and I'm gonna eliminate this fender right here, which actually I could actually take this off while I'm out here, see how it's gonna look. But yeah, you know, proof of concept, things are coming together. I like how that filter's sitting, honestly. I do. I didn't think it was actually going to be a good fit, but it actually is. Outside of the fact that it wasn't a good fit, it wasn't bolt on. But yeah, stunt build coming together piece by piece, piece by piece. All right, so bear with me. Ironically, it didn't rain or anything, but I was still here, so I don't know if I'm gonna end up going out or not. About to go walk my dog, definitely know that much. And I might just park it for the night. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just park it for the night. But yeah, see y'all in the next video. I don't know what it's gonna be. Who knows? All right, everybody. How y'all been? Y'all good? Just wanted to introduce y'all again to the stunt build. So this is where I'm at with it right now so far. Here's what I've done. Just put the 12 bar on literally like 10 minutes ago. Day before yesterday, I ended up changing out the rear master cylinder to the all-in-one. Also did change out the brake lever, which this one also folds in. Now I did have to modify it like a motherfucker to fit. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in one of my previous videos on this bike. I put brake coolers, well, brake vents on. Only thing I'm gonna have to do is just for this side, I just want to put a plate back here because I just personally don't trust 3D print to you know, hold that together its whole life, right? What else was it? Yeah, I got the one on the front, I got that on there. I did notice that I lost one of my exhaust nuts. I was spitting flames trying to figure out why, and then I thought about it like, I've been here before. Check the exhaust, and yeah, sure enough, yeah, those were, well, one of them was loose, the other one was just gone, so I got to put another nut on here. I'm gonna most likely end up double nutting the exhaust flange on just so it doesn't get loose, because I already know this engine vibrates and it's gonna be stunted. So because I'm going to be stunting on it, it's going to experience a lot of vibrations. So with that being said, yeah, I think I'll just double nut those. I want to get a set of rear sets, a set of stunt rear sets. But if I don't get them now, what I'm going to end up doing is changing the pegs. End up getting like grippier pegs, front and rear. Part of me kind of wants to make my own rear sets, but at the same time, I know it's gonna be tedious without welding. So there's that. I need to get a shorter shifter because I just don't like how far out this one is. I have one. I just have to actually swap with my boy to see if I'll give him this one or one of these, because I got two of these. Oh wait, no, the other one is on that bike. So yeah, no, I'm gonna have to give him this one, and I'm gonna need the shorter one, if anything, because trying to stick my foot all the way out, so I put my heel right here to shift. It's so weird. I'd rather have my foot in the middle to shift. I don't know how to explain it, but definitely want a shorter shifter on here. Which honestly, if I really want to, I could actually reuse this and just make my own hole up here somewhere and put a different peg. I don't know. I got a couple options. But anyway, there's that. The PWK with the air filter versus the velocity stack. Gotta tune it. I gotta get some black spray paint so I can paint these. Still want to cut the backs off too. This one and this one up here. And then I'm still in the process of trying to figure out what color I want to paint it. I have paint in my garage. I'm probably just going to use that paint, just being honest. I got like 6-7 cans of that shit. So it's a plenty enough to do the whole bike. There's that. And I want to do fenders. So I took off the stock street fenders. Well, this one, when I changed the forks, I couldn't even get the bolts out, even with the impact driver. They was just rusted in there. That's why I actually cut those ears off. But I want to get high mount fenders. So high mount for the front and something to go back here. I'm still trying to figure out what's going to fit with minimal modifications, because I know nothing's just going to bolt right up, at least for the back. For the front, I don't want to get the Grom one. I don't. Still just trying to figure out which bike front fender I want to get that looks good and it fits the look that I'm going for. This one's going to be my SuMo build. So it's already coming together. Once again, change the rear sets, put the front fender on, put the rear fender on, and then you'll actually be able to see the SuMo build coming together. I'm gonna end up changing these tires. I don't know when, honestly. I got multiple rims with tires, both good and bad. So I'm gonna just be bouncing between different rear tires mainly, with different rear wheels mainly, honestly, with this bike, because it's gonna be ridden on the rear wheel a lot. I'm not gonna say mostly, mainly, but it's gonna be ridden on the rear wheel a lot, because I do plan on actually riding it to lots. Cool. My boys keep telling me to put a light bar on here because I keep telling them it's a night bike. I'm fine with it being a night bike. I really am. But honestly, a part of me is thinking about it. I have a light bar. I just need to get a harness for it. Just need to get a harness. If I get another harness, then I'll actually be able to install that light bar on here. Now, honestly, I'm looking at it like, how do I want to install the light bar because of how my plate is set up. I don't know. And I'm only saying that because I would have wanted to put it behind it, right? And then just have the hole up front to where the light comes through. That would have been the goal. But the light that I got is actually kind of bulky. So it's going to end up rubbing against the neck, if anything. 190 swap, the Z50 exhaust. So far, with the tunable CDI, I got it set to 10,000 RPM because I'm still breaking this engine in. I just did the first oil change when I did the rear master cylinder and all that. So 2 days ago, first oil change was done. But honestly, at 10,000 RPM in 5th gear, I ended up going 68 miles per hour. Banging off of the limiter. And this compared to the 300, they're actually like, the gearing on that is taller, right? So it's set up for highway. I can go 55 plus in 2nd gear before I decide to shift. I'm not even at red line. I don't even think I'd be near red line, but I'd be like, I'm gonna shift. So with that being said, 2nd gear, 55, 56. I think I've seen 58. I think I saw 58 once. And then I was just like, I'm gonna shift. Cool, that's only 2nd gear. 68 in 5th. It'll be a good race between these two. It'll be a good race. Now, I did kind of race them. Kinda. I was on this one. No, I'm lying. I was on that one. My boy was on this one. And yeah, we ended up kind of racing. And I'm trying to remember how it exactly went. I know I stayed in 2nd gear most of it, and then I just heard him shift and shift and shift, and I'm just like, damn, I'm still in 2nd. But anyway, yeah. Build's coming together. Definitely do want a different what is that, 12 bar? I want a different 12 bar. I only bought this just for now because I'm on a budget. What up? And you know, just trying to stretch my funds. But anyway, it's looking good. Just need to figure out what theme I'm going with it. I don't know, I guess I'll figure that out once I paint it. I'm gonna have to remove these stickers off, clean this up. Honestly, I don't even really plan on doing a good job on it. I just plan on painting it. We all know that when it comes to paint, it's all in the prep. I'm gonna get as much of this stuff off as I can, get it as clean as I can, and I'm gonna just spray the shit out of it, honestly. Plastics are broken. That's why I'm not really worried about it, because the plastics are broken. So it's not like, you know, I'm trying to impress the fucking world with the best paint job or anything like that. No, I just want mine to not look like the other Fuerzas, outside of the fact that it don't look like the other Fuerzas, because mine is, as far as the length, shortened, and as far as the height, it's taller, because it's on stock clone suspension versus the stock Fuerza suspension. If you know, Fuerzas come stretched and short. They come lowered and stretched from the factory. They're the only clones that do. So with that being said, yeah, mine already stands out because it's a short one. I'm not saying it's the only one, because I almost bought one. I almost bought a Fuerza with actual Grom forks and swing arm on it. But the seller ended up BSing me. This was like a year ago or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm not the only one with the shortened Fuerza. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go inside because it's supposed to rain. I wanted to come outside. I wanted to actually hit a lot or a back street or something like that, but it's supposed to rain. So with that being said, I'm going to put this back up. I did what I had to do for the day, which is just put that on. I'm gonna go take my dog for a walk, and I will see y'all in the next one. If I do come out because it doesn't rain, there'll be another part of this video. But if not, see y'all in the next one. Lot day number 2 was good. That's all I'm gonna say. Lot day number 2 was good.